Hello, you're listening to Hugo Talks. So this week we have seen in the media a lot of talk about the kids and the jab. And now we've seen this today in the Mirror, which raises a lot of questions, shall we just say. Vaccine trial launched to find out how effective Oxford jab is for children. Researchers will use 300 volunteers to assess whether the jab produces a strong immune response in children aged between 6 and 17 after parents of vulnerable kids called for clarity. Now, first up, where do they get these 300 child volunteers? Where are these 300 children found? What kind of parent puts their 6-year-old kid up for a test like this? How does a child give consent to be experimented on like this? Well, they don't. The parents do. How much do the parents get? Do Oxford AstraZeneca get their volunteers from very poor, deprived areas? I'm just wondering. Matt Hancock, he's got kids. Would he not be willing to offer up his children as volunteers for the trial tests, seeing that he is so confident in this whole vaccination drive? Shouldn't he be leading by example? Let's see you offer up your children as volunteers. It says here, a new trial is being launched to find out how effective the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine is for children. It says researchers will use 300 child volunteers to assess whether the jab produces a strong immune response in children aged between 6 and 17. The Mirror previously reported parents of clinically vulnerable youngsters were calling for clarity on when they could be inoculated. I mean, honestly, how many parents have been calling for this? I mean, they give two examples in this story, one of them related to a celebrity from The Only Way is Essex. Now, I'm not saying there is not a people asking for this, but I find it hard to believe that it is a significant number of people. The article then says a chief scientist has said that although most children do not become seriously ill with COVID, many will benefit from the jab if it is safe. So they admit that the threat to children is virtually non-existent. The pharmaceutical companies admit that the jab that is out now is being offered to everyone. It's an experimental jab that hasn't been tested for medium or long-term effects. That is only approved under emergency guidelines. And now it seems here, from what they've said, this week they are planning on giving this to all children, which they admit that 99.9% of them are unaffected by the virus. If they plan on giving this to all children without it being tested for long-term effects, and we are talking long-term effects that would take 10 years to analyse, to test for an illness that is not affecting the vast majority of these kids whatsoever, then it seems to me they have thrown all ethical and safety standards and practices out of the window. As always, thanks for listening. Come and subscribe to hugotalks.com. If you're going to subscribe, make sure it's at hugotalks.com. It's the only platform which I have control over and where I get to keep the subscribers. If I get cancelled then on any of these other platforms, I lose the subscribers. So come to hugotalks.com if you want me to keep you up to date with my posts in the future. Take care, and I'll see you later.